Hello, and welcome to another Fantasy Premier League video. My name is Steve, and there's nothing quite like a late announcement to chuck the cat amongst the pigeons. So I've just woken up about an hour or so ago to the news of a double game week being announced in Game Week 25. But who is actually going to double is still up in the air, as it will depend on the Carabao Cup results. So anyway, to catch you up to speed on where my team is at, I'm in a unique situation where I've already used all my one free transfer this week. So I have zero in the bank, and I'm already tripled up on Liverpool. Plus, I had already planned to play my triple captain this week. So I'm totally unorganized. I've created a spreadsheet in which I'm trying to determine whether to follow through with my plan to continue with the triple captain chip or to pivot away to some sort of assistant manager play. So with that being said, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, especially if you get any value out of the following content. Right, so as you can see on screen, I've got Salah, Trent, and Canade. And I've already spent my one free transfer this week bringing in Brian and Boomo. Now, I've created this spreadsheet, which is hopefully a little bit, it's just a little bit wider. But anyway, out to the right here, what we've got is the potential doubles in game week 25. So we could have Liverpool playing Wolves and Aston Villa, which is probably what everyone's looking at, thinking two back-to-back doubles for Liverpool. You got to bang the assistant manager chip on him, on your team, and just be done with it. That is all obviously dependent on Carabao Cup results, but Liverpool's are the favourites through the bookies to go through. We could also have Aston Villa versus Ipswich and Liverpool, if that does come to transpire. You got Fulham, who could be playing Nottingham Forest and Tottenham. Spurs playing Man United at home and Fulham away. And then potentially Arsenal could double Leicester and Chelsea could double Brighton and Arsenal. Now, what I've done here is I've highlighted the games where the assistant manager chip table bonus would be in play. Now, I'm not sure if you can actually tell the difference. That color's probably a bit. Let's just change it to like an orange or something. So it's a bit more of a standout. So these three games, so Villa versus Liverpool. So Liverpool first, Aston Villa eighth. So there are more than 5 places difference. So Villa would be up for potential table bonus. Fulham versus Nottingham Forest is currently Forest in third, Fulham in 10th. That's 7 spots. Of course, whatever happens this weekend will change the table, but it's probably likely that that will still be a table bonus. Spurs versus Fulham is also a table bonus, with Spurs in 15th and Fulham in 10th. Now that's just barely. Now if, say, Tottenham win and Fulham lose this weekend, then that table bonus won't be up for grabs. But right now it currently is, if all things remain the same. And then Chelsea versus Arsenal is actually pretty close. So Chelsea in 6th, Arsenal in 2nd. If Chelsea lose this weekend, or maybe even draw, and Arsenal win, then there'll probably be a table bonus up for grabs for that fixture as well. So anyway, those are the potential doubles to keep in mind. Now, all I'm really considering here is whether or not I still play my triple captainship this week, or if I actually pivot and go to someone like Arnie Slot for the assistant manager chip. Now, the assistant manager chip, you need the team to win or draw. And if you watched my video yesterday about how I do not think Everton have a great double, I have no plans to play an assistant manager chip on someone like Everton, who are down here in 16th. I believe, well, I mean, obviously they're playing Liverpool, so the table bonus is definitely up for grabs there. But of course, they do need to win or draw for that table bonus to come through. But I am just not even considering putting it on Everton because I don't think they've got a shit show, to be honest. So it's really Arnie Slot for the assistant manager chip in game week 24 or not, and just leave it on the triple captain. So what I've drawn up here is Arnie Slot's or Liverpool's 2 games only in game week 24. So they got Bournemouth away and Everton away. Now, if they win, it'll be 6 for a win, 3 for a draw, a goal per a point per goal, and then of course a clean sheet would be 2 points, right? So if Liverpool win 1-0, that results in 9 points for the assistant manager chip. Now, if they win twice 1-0, it would be 9 and 9. If they win 2-1 and lose their clean sheet, they'll get an extra goal bonus. So there'll be 2 points for the goal, but they actually lose the clean sheet. So they come out slightly worse off at 8 points. And if they win 3-0, it's 11 and 11. If they happen to draw, and it was 0-0 draw, then it would be 5 points and 5 points. And if it was a 1-all draw, it's actually slightly less at 4 and 4. And so what I've got down here is if they get 2 draws, I mean, odds on Liverpool are going to win both these games, but let's just assume that they draw both games, then they're either going to get a minimum of 8 points. I mean, it could be more if it's 2-all, 3-all, 4-all, whatever, but I'm just keeping it simple to the most likely results that are probably going to transpire here. So it could be 8 points for 2 draws versus 10 points for 2 draws. Or for 2 wins, it could be 16 points if they win both games 2-1. I mean, both games 3-1 would be slightly more. Or for a maximum of 22 if they win both their games 3-0. So the spread is basically from 2 draws to 2 wins or anything in between, 8 to 22 points, just in game week 24 alone. This doesn't count game week 25 or anything past that point. Now, your assistant manager chip is active for 3 consecutive game weeks. And of course, you can change the assistant manager each after the first week. So the first time that you turn it on doesn't cost you a transfer. But if you want to have it on only slot in 24 and then switch to someone else in 25, that will cost you a transfer. And of course, you have to have the funds available. And you cannot break the maximum of 3 players per team limit. Right, so it's between 8 to 22 points if you choose to whack it on Arnie Slot in game week 24. However, I'm already tripled up on Liverpool, right? So I'm totally not, I've got no plans to sell Salah, so it's only Trent or Kanate in my team that I'd be looking to sell. Maybe sell Trent because you get a little bit more cash out, and then you can use that additional cash to go and buy someone like Arnie Slot, who's 1.5 million. I mean, I've only got 0.5 in the bank, so I might need to consider that, or I'd have to sell Kanate and go super cheap in order to bring in someone like Arnie Slot, because I would have to find an extra 1 million to have 1.5 available to turn on the Arnie Slot chip, if I think the Arnie Slot chip is worth it. Right, so no matter what I do, it's going to cost me a hit. So that's a negative 4 points already, straight off the bat, coming off these 2 totals of roughly between 8 to 22. Of course, if Liverpool lose one of these games, it's way worse, obviously. You bet half these scores. So it's -4 for the hit. Now, if Liverpool win both games 1-0, I also have to include the fact that I will be also down 2 clean sheets of a -4 and a -4, because I would have had those clean sheets had I held on to Trent and or Canate. So if they actually win both games 1-0, I'm actually down -12 points, not counting any bonus assists or goals that either Trent or Canate could potentially score. Now, I would probably have to sell Trent, because I don't think I'd want to sell Canate and go super cheap just based on my team structure. And Trent is the most likely player to get any sort of bonus assists and goals. So if he goes and gets any sort of additional returns, it's already on top of a potential -12 loss for my current team if I don't follow through with the assistant manager play. Now, of course, if it's 3-0, it's still -12 because of all the clean sheet points, but there's even more chance that Trent might get involved in bonus assists and goals. Now, of course, you do also have to consider the player that you would be bringing in for, let's say in my case, if I'm selling Trent. To say I go Trent down to someone like Robinson from Fulham, just in case Fulham double next week. I mean, I might pick up some clean sheet points for Fulham. Who does Fulham have this week? Where are we? Newcastle. So maybe not. So whoever I bring in obviously has the chance to recoup some of this -12 across the 2 games. But I'm definitely not going for an Everton play. 1 goal from Leicester, and that basically wrecks the whole double game week for Everton. If I was looking to try and buy an extra player for one of these potential doubles over here, and let's say an upset happens in the Carabao Cup final, I'm even worse off. And I don't really like the range of options that I've got to sell Trent to just for this double game week 24. Now, if we just move slightly forward to double game week 25, and we assume that Fulham do, excuse me, do indeed double. Their double is against Nottingham Forest at home and Tottenham at home. And as I marked out over here, this Nottingham Forest fixture is a table bonus fixture, which actually is a table bonus that is worth targeting because Fulham are fully capable of beating Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest just lost 5-0 to Bournemouth last week. That looks like one of the best shots at a table bonus roll of the dice, right? So if they win 1-0 against Nottingham Forest, it's 19 points because of the 16 points for the win, which is 6 plus the 10 bonus. The 1 goal, which would take them up to 17, and then a clean sheet would make it 19 points. If they drew 0-0, it's still 10 points because they get the 3 for the draw, the 5 for the table bonus, making it 8, and then a clean sheet to take it up to 10 points. Of course, if they draw 1-1, it drops slightly because they lose the clean sheet but gain a goal. So this range of results, and of course this is the same set of scores as what you would see for Liverpool over here, 9-8, 11-5-4, right? So for a Fulham assistant manager in double game week 25, if Fulham get a double in double game week 25, which looks like a pretty good one to target, 2 draws is 13 to 15 points, which is already getting up pretty close to the low end of 2 wins for Liverpool just in that one double game week. And if they happen to win both games, it's between 24 to 32 points. Now, the way I'm looking at it is I think the assistant manager chip is probably best spent on targeting those table bonus matches, and someone like Marco Silva at Fulham would be ideal to chuck it on. But that doesn't mean that I need to spend at least 4 points, potentially minus 12, depending on the results in Game Week 24, to gain the 2 extra games for Arne Slot in Game Week 24, when I could just avoid taking all those hits and the loss of clean sheet points, still follow through with my triple captainship, because the triple captainship is probably best played on a top level team with a top level player like Mo Salah when they've got 2 very kind fixtures. When the doubles come up later down the line, they're going to be bigger doubles. There'll be way more teams available. You might be looking to play a bench boost or potentially even a free hit, or maybe even a wild card in one of those weeks, just to maximize the 11 players on the pitch for those 2 doubles. Whereas I think I'd be quite happy to use the assistant manager chip in Game Week 25 and take 25, 26, and 27, assuming that Fulham actually end up with that double in Game Week 25. Now, the added advantage of delaying the assistant manager chip until Game Week 25 is we will actually know which teams are doubling and what the table is actually looking like and what table bonus is up for grabs. And you'll have a much clearer picture of the kind of potential returns that you are looking at. Like if I whacked it on, if I took all these hits, removed my triple captainship, let's say worst case scenario, Salah goes and gets 20 plus points. So I actually also have to count in the loss of that 20 points for not playing my triple captainship. And on top of the hit and any clean sheets and bonus and assists and goals that I might sell for Trent Alexander-Arnold, plus I would also need, because I'd really like to play it on Fulham, I would need the results to go correct in the Carabao Cup for Fulham to come out with that double in Game Week 25. I could see a world in which this all just goes horribly wrong by trying to make a decision to completely pivot away from the triple captainship in Game Week 24. So for me, it's going to be a no. I am more likely going to enable it in Game Week 25, potentially have a bit of a harder look at what the doubles are going to look like further down the line. Actually, one other thought that did come to mind though, right at the end, is the later that we get into the season, the more accurate that the Premier League table is going to be, because let's say Fulham, if they've just had a horrible run of fixtures and they've got all their easy games to play, they will actually be a little bit lower down the table than potentially what they really should be, because they've played all the hard teams. And so there's more table bonus available because they're currently sitting lower down the table. We do wait until later, say like Game Week 36, when basically every team has played every other team and the table is looking pretty solid for what it is. It's going to be way harder to nail one of those table bonus results later in the season, because you won't have any artificially lower teams sitting artificially lower in the table than what they potentially are given on the string of games that they've had up until now. So that's my thoughts. Very rough, very ready. Thanks for sticking with me. So make sure to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you got any value out of that. Thanks for watching. Good luck for the game week, whatever it is that you do decide to do with this late announcement. Drop us a comment to let us know what's going on, and I'll see you all again next time.